Welcome back to the end of WWE 2K19. I am your host, Attack Slug. Today we're talking about Universe Mode, a mode that more often than not I like in concept but not in execution in terms of making videos for YouTube. So let's kind of start the show here on NXT and look at our matches that have rivalries like Jack Gallagher versus Pepsi Man. And so I welcome you to a fine Wednesday, the third week of the Wednesday Night Wars, with tonight being NXT versus AEW once again. And Universe Mode is a mode that I want to like more than I actually like, mostly because I have some ideas, right? And I do a bunch of downloads and I craft a world, a universe, if you will, to do a video series in, and I do it for like a good 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and people just don't want to watch it anymore. Like, they get bored of it because I guess there aren't enough exciting things happening in the videos because you're kind of just playing matches. Like, I'm making up stories for those matches, but you're kind of just playing matches. And from what I've seen of the 2K20 Universe Mode, it's more of that. They did re-record or re-motion capture a bunch of cutscenes to better fit the ladies, but other than that, it's like, alright, you can have more matches now per card, you can have more matches per pay-per-view, you can have more rivalries, per show, but pretty much all I did was increase the numbers on that. So, not super exciting, and I don't see a reality for this year in which I spend a bunch of time crafting Universe just to play for 2 weeks and drop it because people just don't want to watch it. So that's kind of my opinion on this year's Universe, is that, yeah, they're doing what they're doing, and that's fine, but they're doing what they've already done, and I don't particularly like a lot of pyro. It's great. That's great. Pepsi Man! They're not doing a thing that I can really create and craft a entertaining enough video series for you guys to watch here on the show. I'd like to, man. I would really hope there was more options for this year, but considering their whole rebuild of the game with Yuke's leaving is a problem, clearly. And that's a bigger problem, or it's going to be a bigger problem, as, alright, then next year, no excuses, right? But next year, PS5, Xbox Scarlet are happening, and I don't think this game will be on those consoles, but those consoles should be backwards compatible, is my understanding. So, it's like a yes and no on that, but then I don't see them spending that much time making a bunch of new things for next year's game, when I would imagine 2K22 is the one that's a proper PS5, Xbox Scarlet bit of business, right? So, that being said, how many years are going to be transitional here? How many years are going to be, no, we're working on it. We're getting there. Between this year being, hey, this is our first year without Ukes, between next year being, hey, PS5 around the corner, and then being your PS5 year being the first year on PS5. And hopefully, not a 2K15 scenario of, oh god, new console, here's all the features we're going to take out to make sure it works on a new console. So, that's my concern, is that the next 3 years of games, this year, next year, and the year after, are all going to kind of be transitional. And this game series does not need that. It needs games that are awesome, because people are just pissed. If you've been doing Universe the way you've been doing it last year or the year before, and you like that as, a player, not necessarily as a content creator, but you think, what they've done is good for you to make, to have fun with, then yeah, man, this year is more of that. Now, whether or not the other issues in the game this year may or may not prevent you from enjoying things to the fullest of capacity, and certainly, where are you going, Jack? Where are you going? He don't want none. He don't want none. Hey Gallagher! Hey Gallagher! Here comes Pepsi Man! But obviously lacking a major thing like create a championship in this game for this mode means that creating, say, I don't know, AEW, not going to happen at launch. Certainly, later on, supposedly, later in the year, being patched in. Now, that part is interesting to me because how many times did they tell us, hey, we're going to patch up and fix the version on Switch of 2K18? We heard that a lot. Say, hey, no, we're fixing it. Don't worry, we heard you. And that never got fixed, right? That game's still trash on the Switch. It never happened. That never got fixed. So yeah, I'm not putting my hopes into that. Oh, beat the 10 count. Beat it. Big backdrop. Like, yeah, they're saying that now, right? But programming is not easy. Whether or not that's actually possible to do in a reasonable time frame when you're already having to start working on next year's game. Come on, man. Now you can say that, hey, doing that work for this year's game is going to help you when you got to work on next year's game. And yes, that is true. So that's what has to go in there eventually. Mandible Claw from Pepsi Man. Mandible Claw from Pepsi Man. I had no idea that was his finish. What is his SIG? What is his finish? Pump handle, nope. Big lariat. Alright, sure. Pepsi, Pepsi, Pepsi. They aren't getting Pepsi. They aren't. And Jack Gallagher, resilient to his last. Legit tough guy, Jack Gallagher. But Pepsi Man is just too big, just too strong. So yeah, Universe, man. Like, I want to enjoy it more. I wish it had some kind of a GM function to it. I wish it had more options. I wish we had back a creative story. Would be nice, but I don't see that happening anytime soon, considering, again, you had one team for, 9 months to make a video game. That's a problem. But as I discussed in my video on Friday, they're still charging $60, or $90, or $120, depending on which version you buy. If you're still being charged full price for a game that is not what, you want, then that is a game that you probably shouldn't buy. I will, because I have to make videos. Like, that's kind of my job. But I wouldn't recommend buying that game on launch at this point, from what I've seen. But yes, I'll be here on Tuesday doing videos. That's what I do. Oh, good lucha things from Jack Gallagher, who has a signature. He has it. Alright, he finally got the headbutt. He was trying so hard for so long to hit that headbutt on your boy, on Pepsi Man. Oops, that's a... Nope. What am I doing here? Okay, there is that. Now then, it's time to move on to what in the hell's going on in wrestling, right now. Because not much more to say on Universe, considering there's not much new in Universe. And I played for a whole 2 weeks in this When Worlds Collide. Go watch those videos, please. But, I did what I did, I said what I said, and, I had fun doing it, but people just kind of fell off and didn't really care about what I was doing here on the show. And that's fine. Like, I'm just trying to make videos that people actually want to watch. So, what do you... Jack, no! The Nux! He hit him with the Nux! DQ, Jack Gallagher. Referee saw that. Haha. Main event of the evening, Triple H versus Tommaso Ciampa. One-on-one Extreme Rules. So, moving into wrestling news, we have a big one, and that is Eric Bischoff. Eazy-E is done with WWE. It was, what, a whole 4 months? Since, like, June? When they were hired, Heyman and Eazy-E were hired to run Raw and SmackDown. And then you had Bischoff... Oops, wrong way. I was looking at the wrong bearded guy. You had Bischoff running SmackDown, and running SmackDown apparently was sitting in catering, was running SmackDown. So that happened. And yeah, so already gone in record time. I honestly thought it was going to be Heyman first to snap and go, you know what, I can't deal with Vince because Vince is Vince. But no. Bischoff apparently made some big promises to the Fox execs, and those didn't pan out. And they're like, nope, you're done, you're gone. We don't need you. We don't want you. So that happened. And yeah. So now Bruce Pritchard is running that show on SmackDown, although he kind of already was. supposedly, because Eric was kind of just either in catering or just not there. Just, couldn't find him. Not sure. So, that's kind of a big deal, but kind of not. So, yeah, that was not surprising, but it happened. Also, Ciampa here, I think the game's on Legend, I think. So, that's going to be tricky. Beard versus Beard. Beard versus Beard. Haha. Work the good knee, not the bad knee. What am I doing here? Anyhow, there's been some word that at some point WWE tried to purchase Noah in Japan to help start their NXT Japan that they want to do. And that's really curious, man. But it didn't happen. It fell through. Somebody else bought them. So that's, alright, cool. There's been some word on apparently a big thing out of Japan happening today? No, tomorrow. Thursday. Supposedly. Big news story. And the rumor is that it's going to be New Japan and Stardom in some kind of a collaboration or buyout or something. Having women on these shows for New Japan is kind of a big deal. So, if that leads into stuff for the Dome in January, awesome. Good stuff. Or, perhaps not Stardom, but certainly some kind of a Joshi deal with New Japan. So, that's apparently what's going to be happening, but no real, just a lot of just hearsay and scuttlebutt and that kind of thing, right? So, nothing super huge, but that's kind of what's been going on. Woo! With that. Got my signature. Gonna wait for my stamina. Spine buster. Spine on the pan. To Ciampa. Spine on the pan. And that means it's pedigree time. It's pedigree time. That's right. You get buried just, oh no, like everybody else. That should have been 3. Come on now. Boom. Anyhow, so that happened, or is happening, or might happen, or I don't know. Now then, for a company that made $1 billion, they had a real problem doing a scripted draft, a fake draft, because man, they really botched things pretty hard on that draft. And last night, we had our blockbuster trade announcement, which wasn't even a trade. They sent Alexa and Nikki back to SmackDown. And I'm like, what are you doing? So you had USA look real dumb in not having them get drafted as a tag team, right? Even though they were a tag team, they just lost those titles. They got drafted individually. That's 2 picks for USA. And then both of them went back to SmackDown. Not for somebody, not for anybody, but for future considerations. Future considerations, and now I get pedigree. No, I'm sorry. Well, sort of, but not quite. Future considerations, resiliency. For a future pick for Raw, I guess. And certainly, you could speculate The Fiend might be that and have Bray back onto Raw, and I don't really want that, but that is what it is. Please get Bray away from Seth, because you clearly don't want to put the belt on him. Oh, good God! Good God! Oh my God, lung blower. Rope break, hello? Hello? The game, just too resilient. And speaking of Rollins, it seems like he has been pulled from Team Hogan as the captain, because they don't want him working double duty? Like, then why did you announce a match with The Fiend? Like, what is Vince even doing in any capacity here? I do not understand any of this booking. It is completely illogical and nonsensical and frustrating. Go watch AEW, because, good God, at least that stuff makes sense. That part of it, they're getting right. Because man, I'm gonna tap again. I hate this submission system. I can't tap fast enough on Legend. It's just not gonna happen. And there we go, the Black Heart gets it done. But it just wasn't enough. It just wasn't enough to get the job done, because that submission, the lung blower, and then got me worked out for that submission, and that was just all she wrote, folks. Just, yeah, hard whip to the ropes, and then a missed pinfall because the stupid highlights, and then didn't even show the submission at the end of the match because you're dumb. At least he's in the game this year. That's one positive thing I can say about 2K20. They didn't screw that up. We didn't get Walter, but, you know, these things happen. These things happen. There's always one every year. Because for 2K18, it was Where's Andrade? So there's always one every year. I just want to see what Raw looks like here in my universe, because I'm done for the day. We got Gangrel versus the Big Dog. We got Ronda Rousey versus Bayley with Sasha. We got Owens with Zayn versus Aleister Black. You got Alexa and Asuka. You got the Rude Boys versus the Punk and Funk Connection. You got Batista versus Vince McMahon. And Braun Strowman versus Goku. Hell of a show, but we're done here with this game. We're done here in Universe for 2K19. Tomorrow, I guess, looking at Towers on the show. Tune in for that. I'm Attack Slug. Thanks for watching. More videos on this channel. 2K20 coming real soon. And I'm out.